What is going on, Patriots fans? This is Jace back with another edition of Mock Draft Monday here. Episode 4. We have done 4 of these things now. The support has been incredible on all of them. The last 2, you guys have smashed it. It's been over 6,000 views, so we appreciate that. We appreciate all the comments, all the likes, everything. But only 9% of you guys that watched the video last week were subscribed. So 91% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. If you guys are Patriots fans or if you're liking the content on mock drafts, please make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you guys can continue to stay up to date. Turn that post notification bell on so that when we do post a video or when we start going live here in a week or so about free agency, mock draft, stuff like that, you guys can be in here and comment with us and we will bring your comments in. We are not like most where we make you guys donate. We, of course, love the donations, any support to the channel, but we like to get to any comments. So if you guys are interested in that, hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on so that when we do go live, you guys can be in here. But without further ado, let's jump right into this mock draft. Are you tired of trying to find the best deals on tickets to your favorite events, concert, and games? Then SeatGeek is the answer. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. You can find the best deals thanks to their app and website showing you what prices are good and bad. And now you can use code PATRIOTSDRIVE for $20 off your purchase. So go ahead and get those tickets you've been eyeing because you don't want to miss out. Okay, everybody, let's jump right into this mock draft, guys. Today, I've drafted Travis Hunter first with our first pick. I've drafted Abdul Carter. I've drafted Tetairoa McMillan. The one thing Patriots fans have been asking for, and a lot of people are going to be talking about in this draft process, is how the heck do the Patriots protect Drake Maye? The Patriots had the worst offensive line last year. No question in my mind. No doubt in my mind. Maybe there were statistically worse offensive lines, but the Drake Maye, what he had to deal with, guys rotating, I really don't like what the Patriots have done the last couple years in the middle rounds where they've taken so many guys who project better at the guard position. That's the one thing that has been hard for me. So I'm going to start with the Patriots building in the trenches, okay? Now I get it, guys. I just said I'm not a fan of what the Patriots have done in the middle rounds. So some people are going to be like, Kelvin Banks Jr., doesn't he project better as a guard? Some might say that, okay? People are giving Kelvin Banks Jr. Elijah Vera Tucker comparisons, right? He is going to be a really good guard. Yes, he probably would be he's going to be a really good tackle. He might be a better guard. The one I worry about taking at pick 4 is Will Campbell. I think Kelvin Banks Jr. will have longer arms. He's going to have longer arms than Will Campbell. So I don't worry about that. If there were to be a tackle taken here, I think Kelvin Banks Jr. is the pick. He's 6'4", 325 pounds. He registered an 86 flat blocking grade on PFF this year. He had the 4th highest graded pass blocking grade, which was 89.8. And this is a guy who, yes, he sustained an injury and kind of missed some top end games where he would have played a bunch of really good players. But he also had, he was in the SEC. Texas moved over to the SEC this year, so they played a ton of better competition than what you might say he would have played in the Big 12. So the other thing is, this guy's a 3-year starter at Texas. Okay, he started as a true freshman. He was a 4-star out of high school, has played over 2,700 snaps. If you guys have listened to my mock drafts, the first 3 of them, if you haven't, make sure you go back and watch those. If you haven't listened, I love experienced offensive linemen. Okay. I love that he's started for 3 years. I love that he's played a ton of snaps. I think that it's super valuable for the NFL level. He's only allowed 4 sacks in the past 2 seasons. He was a first-team All-Big 12 in 2022, second-team All-American last year, and then this year he was an All-SEC guy. This guy has really good feet. He's a great athlete. When he's trying to get to the second level at the run or on the run, he can get to backers very easily. He takes really good angles. He has really good feet to mirror guys when he's in his pass pro. He has good agility to be able to recover on counter moves, whether it's a spin, whether it's trying to go inside. He can mirror the defender and stay in front of him. I really like that in the pass game. And he has really good, strong hands to latch on in pass pro. He has a good strike. Now, like I talked about, is he going to be long enough? He will for sure be longer than Will Campbell. I can almost guarantee you guys that, and most people will. He will for sure be longer than Will Campbell. But he's probably not going to be elite with his length. What makes him really good at tackle is his agility, is his quickness, stuff like that. because of his lack of length, sometimes he tends to lean and overextend. He feels like he needs to throw sooner than maybe he would because he doesn't quite have that elite length that you would ideally want in a tackle. And he needs more lower body strength to be able to anchor. It's not like he's not strong. He has a very good ability to get out in the run game and to get guys off the ball, but he doesn't seem to trust himself when he sinks and when he tries to anchor in the pass game. So that's been a little bit of a weird one. But again, he's 22 years old, okay? He's very young. He started as a true freshman. Like I said, he was originally committed to Oregon under Mario Cristobal. He flipped to Texas once Cristobal left for Miami, and he's played. And he's started for 3 years in the Big 12 and in the SEC, the two best conferences, or two of the better conferences. I mean, the Big 10 is up there, but probably one of the strongest ones everyone will say in the SEC, and then, the Big 12. He has been flagged 12 times in the past 2 seasons. He needs to be a little bit more disciplined. I think that does kind of go into, he is only 22. He just turned 22 years old. If you guys are watching this video when it was released, he turned 22 years old like 2 weeks ago, I believe, maybe 3. So he's a very young offensive tackle project. So he still has room to grow. He still has room to gain that strength. That's another thing that I really like about him. So I think if they're going to go offensive tackle at the 4th pick, Kelvin Banks Jr. is probably the one that makes the most sense in my mind. Now, I will be exploring trade down options for other guys that we can talk about once that arises. But as of right now, before testing, before any of those things, I feel like Kelvin Banks Jr. is probably the most likely one to go at the 4th overall pick for the New England Patriots. In the 2nd round, okay, this is a guy that's flying up draft boards. He could fly up into the 1st round depending on how he tests, okay? This is Mike Green. He's an edge rusher out of Marshall, 6'4", 248 pounds. He had a 92.5 PFF grade this year. That led all FBS edge rushers. A 91.6 pass rush grade was 2nd only behind Abdul Carter, who I had the Patriots taking last week, which I think a lot of Patriots fans are excited to see if the Patriots have a chance to draft him. He had the most sacks in the FBS at 17 this year. He had the 7th best pass rush win percentage. He won 21% of his pass rushing snaps. He was the Sun Belt Player of the Year in 2024. He ran a 4.57 and benched 405 last summer, according to Bruce Fieldman. He was on the freaks list. And then his head coach, Charles Huff, who was at Marshall, now he's at Southern Miss. But his head coach, he's been at Alabama, he's been at big time places, said that this guy might be the most freakiest athlete he's been around. He said if he was at Bama when Charles Huff, the head coach, was, he would have started there, no doubt about it, talking about his athleticism. He's got everything you want. He originally started at Virginia and then transferred to Marshall. I'll get into that in a minute, right? Super twitched up, man. This guy, it's kind of the same thing I said with Abdul Carter last week. This guy gets off the ball as good as anyone. His bend and his ability to drop the pad level, reduce the surface area, turn the corner, get to the quarterback is second to none. Him and Abdul Carter, they just have it, right? Like that's a thing that edge rushers, you can't really teach. It's hard if you're stiff. You can't teach the bend. Mike Green, Abdul Carter, they have those things. And that's why he could easily shoot himself up earlier than the 38th overall pick. He wins with several moves. I really like that. It's not just 1 or 2 moves. He has a cross chop. He has a spin. He has an arm over. He can win just by running the hump and getting to the quarterback. He takes on blocks with his hands. He's actually really physical with his hands. When he lands, he's pretty good. And the one thing I like, it's kind of the same thing I said with Jack Sawyer. This guy has a relentless motor. This dude does not freaking stop. Every play looks like his hair is on fire. Like the quarterback or the offensive lineman said something bad about his mom. He is out there and he is going every play relentlessly. I love that. I love seeing him play. He just does not stop. He does not quit on plays. Every play is 100%. When you think about it, you think of like Max Crosby. Max Crosby's like that. Like he just does not stop. He's just a little pest. He's a gnat. He's always giving it 100%. I love that about him. Does have a little bit of a thin frame. He's only 248 pounds. He needs to add size and strength to his build. He does rely too much on his speed rushes and his wiggle in the run game. It can lead to him getting out of gaps because he's trying to undercut or go underneath a block. The one true knock that I've really heard on him is, hey, he played against lower level competition. Okay, this guy only had one true season of production, which was this year. He transferred from Virginia. He didn't play much last year in 2023. He started all this year in 2024 at Marshall, but at Virginia, he didn't really see the field. He was actually he was a 4-star receiver coming out of high school. He actually ended up playing linebacker at Virginia. So it's kind of the same thing that you can say, like I mentioned about Abdul Carter last week, is this guy hasn't played the position very much as some of these guys have. He needs to learn to get better in the run game. But man, you just can't teach what he does off the edge. One comparison I've heard about him, and I actually really like this one. I think he's a poor man's Will Anderson, right? Will Anderson coming out of Alabama was way more polished, way more defined, but he got to the passer. He was good in the run game, which that's where Mike Green's lacking. That's why he's not going to be the number 3 overall pick in this class like Will Anderson was. But Will Anderson had a relentless motor too. He just never stopped. And so I kind of like that poor man's Will Anderson comp for Mike Green coming out. I think that if this is a guy that is there at 38, that he is a game changer, and he is a guy that can, I don't want to say do everything that Abdul Carter can, but he brings that, twitch, that bend, that stuff off the edge that a lot of players can't bring you in the second round. So I love the Mike Green pick if he were to be available there for the New England Patriots in the second round. Next, now I have the Patriots dipping in, getting a receiver, right? Jalen Royals out of Utah State. 6 foot, 205 pounds, only played 7 games this year. Okay. He had 55 receptions for 839 yards and 6 touchdowns. In 2023, he played 13 games. He had 70 receptions, 1,084 yards and 15 touchdowns. This season, he had 7.9 yards after the catch per reception. That is elite. That was 23rd in the country. And then 436 yards after catch. Now, again, guys, remember that was in 7 games, not 13. He missed 6 extra games that he would have played in that he got last year. So he had all those great numbers, and he still missed 6 games with a season-ending foot injury. This guy's super dynamic with the ball in his hands. He breaks tackles, makes dude miss. Good balance at the point of contact. If guys have arm tackles, he can run through them. A little bit thicker frame. He's good in the quick game. He is really good, in my opinion. He's a smart football player. He can get open fast. He sinks his hips in and out of breaks. He's really good change of direction wise. Excuse me. Sorry. He's really good change of direction wise, and he's good at making himself available in the windows and finding the pockets for the quarterback to throw him the ball quickly. So long speed is good. I wouldn't call it great. I think that it's good. It's adequate enough. He can win down the field consistently. And then he, like I mentioned, he's got really good short area quickness, right? Whether it's a slant, whether it's a hitch, whether it's a dig, whether it's, a route, to the sideline where he's doing a speed out or something. He's got really good quickness. He's got really good short area quickness to get in and out of those breaks and create separation from the defensive back. So needs to get a little bit better versus press. He's not the best at hand fighting. When guys get up in his grill, has a harder time getting off. Mentioned he had a season-ending foot injury, so we'll see how that affects him at the combine, stuff like that. See what he tests as. And he needs to improve in contested catches down the field. He's not the tallest guy, 6 foot. He does have a little bit smaller arms. His reach is just not as big as you would like it for a 6-footer. That can lead to him getting a little bit out-muscled and out-bodied on contested catch opportunities down the field. So one comparison that I like for this guy, he does kind of remind me with his run after the catch ability, is Jaden Reed, maybe a slightly bigger and thicker Jaden Reed, but I do really like Jalen Royals. I think that he has the similarities to Jaden Reed, who's done good things, and he's been inconsistent for the Packers, but this is a Senior Bowl guy. Hopefully we'll get to see a little bit of him, see what he can showcase, and maybe he'll even be, a higher pick than this. But I really do think Jalen Royals can be one of those guys that can get open quickly, be quarterback friendly, and still can take the top off of a defense. So really, really, really like Jalen Royals. I think it would be a good 3rd round receiver addition. Obviously, you'd probably need to add one in free agency if you were doing this. But let's say you get T. Higgins. Now you have T. Higgins, Jalen Royals, Kayshon Boutte, Demario Douglas, and then we'll see where Jalen Polk goes. That seems like it's got a little bit more juice in it than what you had this year. So, and then the last pick, guys, this is just a fun one for me, man. And I really do think the Patriots need a running back. I really do. Antonio Gibson was great. I don't think that he's the long-term answer. Ramondre Stevenson has had his fumble issues, things like that. This is probably the best running back outside in college football outside of Ashton Jeanty, who had a career season that we might never see again. So Cam Skattebo, 5'11", 215 pounds. He had a 94.6 rushing grade on PFF, which is insane. 294 carries for over 1,700 rushing yards and 21 touchdowns. He also added the most receiving yards at the running back position with 543. He had 1,202 yards after contact. That is 3rd in college football amongst running backs, only behind, I bet you can guess it, Ashton Jeanty and Amarion Hampton, who are running backs 1 and 2 right now in this class. He forced 102 missed tackles, which was 2nd behind Ashton Jeanty. A lot of the time, Cam Skattebo is right behind Ashton Jeanty. He had 45 runs of 10-plus yards, which was 4th amongst running backs, and he had the 2nd most first downs, which was 103. You guys get the point behind Ashton Genty, right? So he's second in every stat behind, a guy that had a career year and probably had a chance or should have won the Heisman, in my personal opinion. This is a physical runner who does not go down easily. Contact balance is insane. Contact courage. He wants to run through dudes' faces. I talked about Mike Green, relentless effort. I feel like anyone that's in front of Cam Skattebo is sitting there insulting his mom, and he's just going to punish him. He is not afraid of contact. When he runs through him, he has the ability to stay up. He has the ability to stay on his feet and continue to make the run after the contact. It's incredible. I think he has really good vision for a running back. He's patient enough, but he also hits the hole once he sees it. Great ability to make people miss. Like I mentioned, he's not just going to truck you. He can make people miss. He can be a little wiggly. And what I love about him is he's a tone setter. Like, I don't know if this guy can be a running back one, but I think if you have him and Ramondre in the backfield, it's a little bit better. Ramondre's just, he's a bigger back, but he's got a little bit more wiggle to him. He just doesn't quite run as hard. Cam Skattebo sets the tone. He comes in, he runs through guys, he makes people miss. He's just a physical specimen. He's a physical runner that people know and are like, hey, we have to prepare for this guy because he is going to run through our face. He's had 3 years of really, really, really consistent play. He was at Sacramento State in the FCS. He was the Big Sky Offensive Player of the Year in 2022, and then he was an All-American this year and finished, 5th or 6th in the Heisman voting, like that. So lacks the top end speed. That's why he's not one of those elite running backs. He doesn't have Ashton Genty, Omarion Hampton, Travion Henderson breakaway speed. Also, injury concerns. Okay, I just worry how long and how hard this dude has played in college, and he's going to continue to play. We already know the running back position is a little bit less of a timeline than most positions. So what is that going to look like for a guy that runs as hard as he does? Is he going to have a little bit more injury history, or is he going to be a little bit more banged up in the NFL, playing against just the best of the best and more physical play? So the other thing is, and this one's a weird one, right? He had 4 fumbles, which was the second most in college football this year. Now, a lot of those came because he was just fighting for extra yards. So that's not an excuse, but we just talked about Ramondre Stevenson having fumbling issues. It's kind of hard to justify bringing in another guy that has it. But man, this is such a fun pick, man. I love Cam Skattebo. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm a Big Sky guy. I've been associated with the Big Sky in some form for almost 4 years now. I've seen this guy live. I've played against him twice in the Big Sky, and I'm a West Coast guy. So, I followed Arizona State for a while. And then, they started getting good. Kenny Dillingham, he transferred there, and this guy was kind of a huge reason they were able to go from being picked to finish last in the Big 12 to winning the Big 12 and being the 4th seed in the college football playoffs. So this is a fun pick for me. I really like Cam Skattebo. I don't know if he's the running back the Patriots will pick. I will definitely be exploring more running backs because I think edge and running backs are the 2 deepest classes right now. Running back would probably be, in my opinion, the deepest class. I think that there are so many good running backs that I would love for the Patriots to take in the 3rd, 4th, possibly the 5th round. So let me know what you guys think on Cam Skattebo. I think that he is a little bit thicker version of Kyren Williams, a guy who can run through contact but still stay on his feet, has that good contact balance like I mentioned. I just think he's a little bit thicker version of Kyren Williams. Now, again, guys, when I do comps, it's not saying, hey, this guy's going to come in and be Kyren Williams. It's just how I see his game being. It reminds me of shades of those guys. And, that's how it is. It doesn't mean that he's going to be as good as Kyren Williams. It doesn't mean that Jalen Royals is going to be Jaden Reed. He could be better. He could be worse. It's just parts of their game, how I see them coming out of college, how I see their play style fitting is how I see them right there. So, again, guys, appreciate the support on all of these videos. You guys have been killing them. Let's keep it rolling. Hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know in the comments what you think of this mock draft, okay? Finally addressing the tackle position a little bit earlier than most people have liked me. I've been doing it in about the 3rd or 2nd round in the previous 3 mock drafts. So I now address it at pick 4, still get an edge rusher, still get a receiver, and then get a position, which I think is probably a sneaky need, but still something the Patriots should look at getting. So let me know down below what you guys think. Again, hit that like and subscribe button and make sure you have the notification bell turned on so that next week when we post the Mock Draft Monday or when we go live, you guys are able to hop on in this stream. So appreciate all the support, and until next time, we'll see you guys later.